Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dave, and today I want to talk about an article that I found quite interesting, and this is all about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and how she's buying millions of dollars in call options in Google, Disney, and others. So this isn't a political channel. I'm not going to make it a political channel, but I do find this really interesting, quite fascinating. So for me, consider me Switzerland when it comes to this stuff. Now, if you're a big fan of Nancy Pelosi, great. If you're not a fan of Nancy Pelosi, that's fine. If you're an OnlyFans of Nancy Pelosi, I'm worried about you, and you need to go make sure. If you're typing in right now OnlyFans Nancy Pelosi in a search bar, then I'm really worried about you. But whatever it is, we want to kind of, I guess, is this good information to have? Because, you've got somebody that's has a lot of political power with a very powerful husband that is pulling the strings and behind this. And they're buying a bunch of money, and they're betting on 2022. I find that quite interesting. So maybe we can use some of this knowledge ourselves going forward to see if maybe we should get into some of these trades. So, we talk a lot about options on this channel, and we'll talk through a little bit of these trades as we go through this, but just find it interesting. So here's the lowdown. This is off of Seeking Alpha, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her husband have purchased millions of dollars in call options in several tech stocks. So even with, interest rates rising in 2022 as expected, she's still betting heavily on Google, Roblox, CRM, which is Salesforce, and a couple other ones, Micron. So they're putting a lot of money behind this stuff too. We're talking about large numbers. The Salesforce.com and Google purchases were the most expensive, costing between $500,000 and $1 million. Actually, the Google was right at $1 million. I already checked that one out. The other acquisitions were about $250,000 to $500,000. Oh, and Disney's also in here. So it also says Pelosi has come under fire for the trades in the past, but has defended them, most recently saying earlier this month that this is a free market economy and lawmakers should be able to participate in that. Well, isn't that convenient? Well, again, we don't want to politicize this, but, this is always on the edge. Some people have said in the past, let them trade in the markets, but keep them in ETFs and things like that versus options, where while they're in government, they can actually have a bigger influence over a short term. It does make sense to me in some ways. So, and this isn't the first time. If we go back, we can find here inside Nancy Pelosi's husband's $5 million Alphabet options windfall. So they're a power couple. And they've done quite well in the past. And this article here in Forbes is all about how they made over $5 million in trades earlier in the last few years, right? Betting on Alphabet. So the trades in question involve 40 call options on Alphabet stock at a strike price of $1,200, which were exercised on June 18th, a few days before the House Committee convened. The contracts gave Pelosi the right to convert us, blah, 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 blah. Because Alphabet was trading at about $25.50 when the options were exercised and converted into stock, they were in the money and are now worth about $5.4 million. Google is now at $2,900 a share. So again, this was back over the summertime. But if we scroll down here, you can see that, the options that were acquired on February 27th, just as global financial markets began their coronavirus-induced plunge. On that trading day, Alphabet fell as low as $13.14 a share where it closed. Pelosi, apparently bullish on the company's search and advertising business, bought slightly in-the-money options expiring about 16 months later. So they did quite well. Pelosi seems to deploy a leap option strategy of building low-cost exposure to a few large-cap tech stocks using options, buying slightly in the money contracts expiring in 12 to 18 months. So we'll see what they're buying now. But the expectation here is the thought is his premiums may have only cost a few $100,000. He's been doing this on several other ones too. New trades Pelosi has made, such as calls in semiconductor Nvidia, e-commerce giant Amazon, and iPhone maker Apple are already making money, and those would still be making money if he's still holding these, especially the Nvidia trade. That's probably was phenomenal. So done quite well in the past. So I find this really interesting. They've got a pattern here of success. Take that for what you, however you want. I'll let you decide that. So let's look at the actual trades. So they have to file these periodic transaction reports. If they make trades like this, they have to make it public. I think that is a good thing. People need to know when they're in these types of powerful positions what they are up to. So the first one worth talking about here is going to be Alphabet, Google, right? Which was they purchased 10 call options with a strike price of 2,000 and an expiration of 9/16. And this was done back on 12/17, so just a few weeks ago. So that trade, I validated it. Right now, if you wanted to do this, you could. You just have to plunk down just a little under $1 million in order to do this trade. 10 call options would not be cheap with Google. And, at a 2,000 strike price with Google at 2,900, and it's been kind of flat, so that's probably right about where they bought it. That is going to not only cost them a lot of money, but that is really deep in the money. So I bet you their break-even price on this is going to be, I don't know, 3,100, let's say, ballpark. I'm not looking it up right now, but we're just talking through it. But so anything above 3,100 with 10 call options, wow, that's going to start exploding. They're going to do quite well, but they're going to have $1 million in it. If it plunges 2022, they're betting big on 22. Does not work out that way. Well, then it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for them. They'll probably be losing quite a bit of money if this thing does pull back significantly. Now they're giving themselves all the way out till 9/16, so September of 2022. Do I like this trade? Yeah, I like this trade. I wouldn't be afraid of this trade. I would do this. I might give myself a little bit more time past September. I might give myself a full year, but other than that, I like that trade. I like Micron technology too. I just did a video on Micron. And in this case, purchased 100 call options with a strike price of 50 and an expiration date of 9/16. Again, same expiration, purchased 100 call options with a strike price of 50. So Micron right now is trading at $95 a share, and it just kind of exploded to the upside. So when they bought this, it might have been closer to 80. So they've already done quite well. If it continues that pattern, this will be a great trade for them. They're going to do really well if Micron does what it's expected to do. Right now, semiconductors are in such high demand. Anything you can make, you can pretty much sell. If it continues that way, Micron should have a good year going forward. So I like this one too. I think I still like the Alphabet trade better than this one. Now this next one we can ignore. Additional investment in LLC, as far as I know. And then the next one is Roblox. And I don't get this one. I wouldn't do this trade. Roblox is at 100. Purchased 100 call options with a strike price of 100, so at the money. But they did give themselves an all the way out to 120 of 23. So RBLX, again, not my cup of tea. Roblox buy to open 100 calls January 20 of 23. Strike price of 100, so at the money. Roblox is at 98.81. Market order, a cool $284,000 bet on Roblox. I don't like this trade. I just don't like it. I don't know where Roblox is going. I don't feel confident about it. I think that could be highly sensitive to interest rate changes. Yeah. Nope. Now, that means it'll probably completely prove me wrong, but I don't like that one. That's not for me. And the next one on here is CRM. I am a fan of Salesforce. Salesforce bugs me every single day of my life, trying to get me to buy their product. And everybody that I know that does use it within their businesses and things, it's like the old BlackBerry, the Crackberry, where you can't get rid of it, right? Once it's in your ecosystem, it's not going anywhere. So in this case, Salesforce is at $255, and they're purchased 100 again. Call options, wow. And because it is at a 210 price, fairly deep in the money, with an expiration again all the way out to next year, giving themselves out to January of 2023 with a strike price of 210. This is going to be another expensive one. Market order, let's say, and it's going to be $615,000. A drop in the bucket. So I like this one. Excuse me, I need water. I like this one. I think Salesforce has a lot of upside. It is an expensive stock, but that's because their revenue numbers look incredible going forward. So it's just a matter of time. Is a year enough? Maybe, but a little bit of a gamble. Still my favorite one is probably still Alphabet, and then this Micron and Salesforce, they're dead even for number 2. The number 2 spot. Just my personal opinion, not financial advice. Just interested, an American that I am. So the last one on here is Disney. So you can't go wrong with the little mouse. I I love Mickey Mouse. Disney's at 156 right now, and obviously it's had a big correction over the last few months. But if you wanted to buy to open, this one's not going to be too much compared to the others because it's only 50. And they're doing it at a strike price of 130, and they're giving themselves out to that September date again. So I just don't know if there's a lot that could happen to Disney. I think there's going to be a lot of positive news with Disney, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to move it higher by September. I would feel better about buying the stock, I think. So they just have a little bet, $160,000 bet on Disney, approximately, and expiring this summer. So I probably would stay away from Walt Disney. I would probably go with Google and maybe Salesforce and then Micron. So again, just my opinion. But I thought that was really interesting. I mean, they're betting heavily on 2022. What do you think? Now, a lot of my content on this channel is about selling puts and calls. I'm not against buying puts and calls, especially if you know the direction of the market. So it's not out of my realm to do this. If I'm going to pick one, I might go back, grab myself an alphabet and bet right alongside Nancy. Well, I don't know. But anyway, if you have any questions on any of this stuff, you could ask down below. But just an interesting play, and I think something that we should all be aware of, that this is going on, right? I mean, part of our American duty. So again, any questions, ask down below. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Whoop.